And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. We're back. And what better way to celebrate than to head to Cheviot on Harrison Avenue, inside the Dora District, go to Hail Mary's. You can walk from bar to bar with your drinks, but why would you need to do that? Just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package DirecTV offers. They can stream all the games, and Cincinnati sports, especially your Red Hot Reds, will always be on the video wall. Brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines, ice cold Cincy Light in a 32.8 degree frosted glass. Go see our good friends at Hail Mary's. They'll get you taken care of. All right. Let's get this show on the road. We have returned, Aaron. For some of us, the summer break is over. Keegan still gets a couple more days, but then he's going to be busy the rest of July, so it's fine, I guess. How was your trip?
It was good. It was good. First time I've really been to Outer Banks, I think. So it was a lot of fun. Enjoyed the beach, and we had perfect weather. It was cooler there than it was in Ohio.
Awesome. Same in Daytona. We went to Florida, and it was nicer in Florida than it was in Ohio.
No rain, so loved that, and there were no casualties, no hospital trips, no nothing. We came out pretty unscathed, considering I think there was 26 of us, like 13 adults, 13 kids, or something.
Damn.
Obscene.
That's a lot.
It was nuts.
It was one of the smoothest vacations I think I've ever had. Flights were perfect. We had to wait 15 minutes to get the rental car when we got there, because they had just gotten it back. They were cleaning it out. They're like, "Can you wait 15 minutes?" Like, we got a Jeep Wrangler with the drop top, and like, it's pretty nice. I was like, "Yeah, well, wait. We can wait 15 minutes. That's cool." I'd much rather have that than like a Jeep Cherokee or something generic. So
yeah.
But we left early and landed early, both flights, the way there and the way back. When has that ever happened before, that like 2 flights in a row, we land a half hour early? Let's go. You get the pilot a high five.
Yeah, driving with 2 under 3. We left like 10 o'clock at night on the way there, and drove through the night. And got in at like 7 a.m. That was probably, we had the 1-year-old cried for like 2.5 hours on that one, but that was nowhere near as bad as the 15-hour drive home because of all the stops and crying and all of that. Glad to be home.
Flights are great. Direct flights are great. I'm to the point, Aaron, I don't think I'll ever do it. Like, if I don't have to, I'm not going to do another connecting flight ever again. Whatever that cost difference is worth, it is not worth getting stuck somewhere on a layover. I'm out on layovers. Direct flights.
Fair enough. I get it.
We haven't really missed a whole lot, fortunately, in the college sports world. Sometimes there are weeks where every day there is something. Last week was not really one of those, and it was kind of refreshing, Aaron. We picked the right time to take off for a couple days.
We did. In the meantime, I grabbed this today because it's out, but Lindy's has my article that I wrote. I think it's like the 4th year that I've written for them. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can check that out if you're looking to get a little preview action.
Maybe
that's on the shelves.
Maybe you need to take a screenshot of that, send it to me, Brent, and Ryan, and then tomorrow on the BBP we'll discuss the thoughts within your article.
Sure.
One of the
Are we that
biggest
hard
things
up
that
on
kind of,
content right now?
I mean, yeah, kind of. It is what it is. One thing that did happen this week that I'm pretty interested in is thoughts on the Big 12 deciding that they are doing away with the preseason poll. It has been a media poll for them. It has been proven, and we have talked about multiple times. Just take whatever the Big 12 poll says, flip it upside down, and that's going to be a pretty good indication of what the conference looks like in any given year, Aaron. So, what are your thoughts on the Big 12 saying, you know what, we're going to move on from the preseason poll?
Well, the Big 12 is not the first conference to do this. The Big 10 actually was the first conference to do this. So the Big 12 joins the Big 10 in not doing this preseason media poll. Secondly, we're in an era right now where the transfer portal kind of runs everything. I don't know that when we're ranking the high schoolers coming in that we're doing a, I guess maybe if you wanted to give that a grade, we're ranking these high school players above average. We're probably doing a more than average job at it, but I wouldn't say it's very good. That said, the transfer portal is even more of a crapshoot. I mean, if you look at Cincinnati right now, we have pretty much an entire new receiver crew that has never played in the Power Four. So we don't really know how it's going to translate. We know what we've seen in practice, but we don't really know how they're going to actually perform in the Power Four. So it's kind of, who knows? Nobody, you talked about it already. Arizona State was last ranked last season, and they end up winning the entire conference.
The year before that, West Virginia was last, and they finished what, 9-3, I think.
Yeah.
So the past 2 years, the teams that were picked last ended up being really good. You know, really good football teams that were picked last in a 16-team conference. And rightfully so, coming into the season, based on the info we had going into the season. I don't think anybody looks back at that and goes, the signs were there, we missed it. I don't think the signs were there. Like, did we know Cam Scatterbo was going to become just an absolute monster? No. Did we know Levitt, their quarterback, was going to become, you know, one of the more consistent, steady performers in the conference? No, we didn't know that. There's so much now that is just a complete, like, some of it's going to work in a couple places, some of it's not going to work in a couple other places. Good luck figuring out which one is which.
Yeah, I don't, and who's going to actually miss? This has been one of my gripes pretty much as long as I can remember, is the preseason poll where they actually have the top 25 rankings going into week 1 is garbage. Absolute trash for the media, for the coaches. They don't, again, you're just kind of hoping you're somewhere close. Nobody really actually knows how good these teams are going to be, but yet this is what we're using to start off all of our polls. So I don't know.
We don't, the Big 12 doesn't use anything. I mean, the Big 12 media poll doesn't impact anything long term. One of the reasons I think that I'm perfectly okay with this specifically going away, it's not like there's a weekly media poll that we're asked to do every week in the Big 12. Like, we have the Big 12 publishers on 24/7. We do one every week during the regular season, but nobody is looking to that for significant information. The selection committee, CFP selection committee, is not like, hey, can you pull up that Big 12 media poll? We need to check some facts from the preseason Big 12 media poll. Like, if it's not something that's done all year, who cares what's done at the beginning? And also, you know as well as I do, Aaron, like we're really going to have the time to completely dissect and understand the other 15 teams that are in the Big 12, like top to
No,
bottom, their roster.
The crazy thing is the media probably knows their own team better than anybody who's actually ranking
Sure.
any of these teams, though.
Sure. But you don't know how, like, I think Cincinnati is going to be better. I think all signs point to this being the most well-constructed and talented roster of the Satterfield era. I have no clue what that means on the field because I don't know the inner workings of a ton of these other programs where everybody's going through such a drastic transformation every offseason.
It's probably fair to say that Oklahoma State's going to be better because I don't know that they could be worse than what they were last year.
Well, and Gundy has a thing for like when they're expected to be good, they're not as good. And when they're expected to be bad, they're awesome. Like playing a conference championship.
And he got kicked by he got kicked by a cow last year, so he was just a little messed up.
You're still going with the kick by a cow thing?
That's wild. Come on, man.
It's not for somebody that owns cows. I imagine if you own cows, you get kicked by cows a decent amount. Well, not every day, but occasionally.
May well be true.
Sure. I don't have any cows. I'm guessing. People with cows can maybe inform us, but if you're around cows every day, I'm imagining you get kicked by a cow every once in a while.
Maybe.
But yeah, nationally, I'd like to see the preseason polls go away. Like nobody knows. This is not 1987. Nobody has any clue what any team is going to look like year over year the way that we used to. Like all of that is completely flipped.
Yeah, especially when you're replacing anywhere between 25 and 50 scholarship players.
Yeah. We're
So,
used to 25. That's normal,
yeah.
Right? Like 25 is about standard. Now it's 50, 60 guys every year are turning over in your roster. Nobody has any clue. Like, of course, because of the number of studs that they get, Alabama and Georgia and Texas and like Ohio State, they're all going to be really good. They got a crap ton of talent. They're spending the most on the portal. They're going to be good. But everybody else, you don't know. I don't know. Like, if we had Justin on here, he'd be like, most of those teams I'm not real sure about because until you see them on the field, you have no idea. In case you can't tell, Aaron is working on a pretty large delay tonight. So we're trying to talk through to catch him back up. I don't know if he can hear me right now.
Yeah.
Aaron, can you hear? Okay. There we go. He's back. Yeah, I can do without them. They impact the season far more than they should because if a team's not ranked in the preseason polls, it takes forever for them to reach the top, even if they're one of the best teams in the country that year.
So how would you fix it though? Are you going to just wait until week 3, 4 to start releasing polls? That's what I would do.
I mean, I would prefer it that way. Here's the ultimate problem, though. We work in a business that runs on clicks. And every poll that gets put out is going to get a ton of clicks. So they're inevitable, but I don't think we should give as much power to them as we have throughout the course of college football. The problem, Aaron, is we're just married to the polls, right? Like they have been there our whole life. So we're stuck with them, I think, unfortunately.
People would shit a brick if you took the polls away. There would still be polls.
Right.
It would just be unofficial polls. So you'd still have people making their votes at some point, whether it be media or whether it be coaches, when we actually do release the polls, basing them on the ESPN unofficial polls that have been released to that point.
or the power rankings or whatever is out there. Yeah, they're not going to go away completely. But hats off to Brett Yormark and the Big 12 because they're stupid. Nobody knows. And the Big 12 poll every year has been kind of a beacon of light too. Nobody knows what's going to happen. All right, it's going to wrap it up. We'll see you tomorrow on the BBP. This is the Nightcap. Good to be back. Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com.